Hello, everyone. Today's Do Now was talking about jury duty. If you know what jury duty um, it is when you're required to serve on a jury. We've talked about juries back with the Fourth Amendment. A jury is when someone's on trial, a criminal trial. It is a group of people from their community who will listen to the arguments and decide if someone is guilty or not. They're not politicians. They're not people through the court. They may have an education. They may not. They could be anybody randomly chosen from the community um, if they're an adult, and they will decide potential criminal's fate. So depending on where you live, if you register to vote, you might be called to serve on jury duty, or if you have a driver's license. In Colorado, if you have a driver's license, you could be called for jury duty, meaning your name is on the list, and they randomly select your name. You could be called for jury duty. Now, the way it works is you'll get like a letter like 2 months beforehand that says, "Hey, your name came up for jury duty. Your day is June 2nd." What they tell you to do is they don't know if they need you or not yet. They don't know what court cases they're going to have. They don't know if the cases they have are going to be ready or not. So what they do is they say, all right, your day is June 2nd. June 1st, call this number the night before. After 5 o'clock, call this number. And you call the number and they say, all right, it's a recording. They say, all right, jurors, 1 through 100, you're coming in tomorrow. Anybody after 100, thank you, your service is done. So if that phone call, your number doesn't get picked for the next day, you're done. You can only have jury duty once a year. If your number does get called, well, you got to go into court the next day. When you get there, they're going to line you up. They're going to send you different places, and they're going to put you in courtrooms. And then within each courtroom, they're going to try to decide which people need to be on the jury. The way they're going to do this, they're going to put some people in the juror's box, and they're going to start asking them questions and try to determine if they want that person or not. And then everybody else will be an alternative, and they'll spend half the day or so trying to decide who's going to be their jury. Now, most court cases are not some high profile murder trial with 12 jurors and it's this big long deal. Most are really small. You could get picked up for a murder trial. And that's how they decide. If they don't need you, after that one day, you're done. You go home, you're done for the year. If they need you, you're staying until the trial's done. Most trials are done in one day. Most jury duty services are done in one day. After 3 days, you start getting paid. You get paid very little. I think it's even below minimum wage. So the vast majority of cases are wrapped up in 3 days and never go beyond that. There are some, like I said, those high-profile murder cases where they'll sequester you. They'll try to keep you away from the public. You can't talk to reporters, all that stuff. But you'll listen to the court, and the judge will talk to you and teach you what you're supposed to be doing and not doing, and how you're supposed to listen to evidence. It's not a TV show, right? So they'll tell you what you need to do and how to make a decision. Then at the end, all people need to vote, and if everyone agrees the person's guilty, then they're guilty, and your job is done. You do not sentence them. You don't do anything extra. You just listen to the evidence and make the decision. Now, you could be called for like city court, like the city of Denver might call you, the state of Colorado might call you, or the federal government could call you. Right? You could go to any one of these courthouses, and depending on what the trial's about, you might be listening to different types of crimes. Most criminal trials are 6 jurors. Lawsuits tend to be 6 jurors. So you could be on either one. The one jury duty I was on was a lawsuit where someone was suing his insurance company because he had back pain from a car accident. When you are on a lawsuit, depending on what it is, you get to listen to the case. You get to decide how much the person gets. So you don't decide guilty or not guilty. You decide how much money the person is earning, or if they're earning none at all. Now, you're supposed to be unbiased. Right? You can't bring in your political views and your own thoughts. You have to listen to the evidence. You have to make your decision based on the evidence. They're going to ask you questions to try and decide if you're a good person for this jury or not. If they think, obviously, if you're like a blatant racist, they're gonna be like, no, we don't need you. You can go home. All right, so they're going to try and decide who's best for it. Like I said, you need to deliberate and come to a unanimous decision as a group. We'll watch a video on jury duty, so you can pause this one. Today's activity is going to be a jury duty game. The link will be on Pear Deck, and it's going to take you through the court case. It's about a hit and run accident. You're going to have to, talk about what you saw, and you'll go through all the process of being at court.